Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is an interesting contradiction in the dating world right now. And I actually went on a date, sort of a date yesterday. It was technically a date, and I enjoyed myself, and I hope she did, but that's not the point. The point is, there's an interesting contradiction. Um, there's an atmosphere of management by the gun, and I've mentioned this in other videos where you are degrees of separation away from the gun at all times. And what do I mean by the gun? You probably already know. It's what you find, what you see visually, literally, if you get called. Basically, if somebody calls the gun, and I mean, I'm referring obviously to law enforcement who are always available, one phone call away. And that's not necessarily a factor in dating, but it is present. The potential is always present. So hear me out. Our system is designed so that people have this option. We've essentially, we as a culture, as a society, have taken guns away from the vast majority of people for a good reason and replaced them with a phone or ways to contact the gun if needed. So we have official gunmen. We call them officers. Not a coincidence that the root word is the same. These official gunmen can show up willy-nilly if a call is made. Everybody's familiar with this process. So my point is, with all this, there's an expectation that the system is protecting people with the gun. That's the point. That's the advertisement. So it is understood by adults. Pretty much all adults have experience with authority and what is expected in terms of behavior and respect of boundaries, respect of choices, especially for women. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. The system is telling men in no uncertain terms that the woman will decide what she wants to do every time, or else there's a gun. It's going to pop up. Okay, and if you think this is funny, if you think that it's an exaggeration, then you might not be a man, because men have experience with this. I have personally been arrested at places just for looking at women. I'm not exaggerating. I don't mean looking lewdly. I mean just a place where, for example, I frequent and have frequented for years, and then a woman gets a job there, and suddenly there's a conflict if she decides there's a conflict, and this has happened to me. There were no charges eventually, but I was banned from the location, even though I was not there because of her. It's just one of those false stalking charges, which turn out are very easy to drum up. Okay, but that's kind of beside the point, and that's a little bit of my own history. But point is, it's very easy, very, very easy for women to make that call. So with that in mind, and most men don't need to go to that extreme to understand that that's a possibility. Here's the point. The system at every turn reminds us that the woman is in charge. It is her decision to invite you. However, now here's the contradiction. The woman expects the man to do that. Okay, I'm not complaining. I'm saying there's a contradiction, and this is the opportunity, right? The challenge and the opportunity, and I'm not complaining. I'm saying that it's not fair, first of all, and a few things are. But what this means for me personally, and what it meant last night on my date, was that I'm going to, be cautious, perhaps a little bit more cautious than I might be if there were no official guns, if you know what I mean. And what that looks like is I'm going to ask some specific questions to find out where the boundaries are before I get in trouble, if that makes sense, because it can easily happen. I'm going to remind you of that. It can, and it does, for men mostly. So if I, for example, offer a piece of gum, and she turns it down. Well, okay, it's one minor detail, but it shows that she's perhaps not interested in sharing things. It's just one thing. So I might ask another question, such as, um, "Are you, interested, categorically interested in walking back together?" That kind of thing, and pay attention to her language when she responds, because it's going to be the same language if there is ever a report or a complaint. I don't know this person very well. This is why I'm doing this. If I knew them, if they were already, romantic or friendly, then it wouldn't be a question. But for new people, you have to find out. You do. So if her answer is ambivalent, if it's non-committal, if it's unemotional, that might be a huge red flag as far as proceeding in terms of being assertive and physical, like casually physical, how people are on dates sometimes, just hand on the shoulder or whatever kind of thing. So that's strike two, I guess. And then if she's also evasive, even if she's attractive, even if she's eligible and beautiful, which she was and is, if she's evasive, if she shows signs of not wanting to share things, and she's non-committal, unemotional, no. I'm not gonna I'm not I don't need to. I don't need to do that. And I also explained to this person, as an aside, connected though, I have learned at this point in my life that the best relationships are the ones that happen organically. That is, not the ones that are forced, not the ones that you have to holler across the street, not the ones that you have to chase her down. And I get that a lot of women like being chased, but maybe this system isn't for you, if you know what I mean. Maybe the only guys who are going to chase you in this place aren't too bright. So enjoy yourselves, I guess. Find a guy that's going to do that. Find a guy that takes foolish risks, or help me to fix this system so I can act natural. Help me to make that gun a few degrees of separation further away, so that we can be ourselves. And then maybe we'll both have a good time. Maybe things will happen the way you want them to, and the way you deserve, honestly. Who's making the decisions is my question. Is it you or the system? Something to think about. Have a great day. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.